Hello my friends and Happy New Year! It's the first video of the year, so I wanted to start it off with wishing you all the best for 2020. 2019 was a challenging year for many people, myself included, so I hope that this year will be full of joy, love, happiness, peace and all the beautiful moments there can be. So I'm wishing you all the best for the new year. Yes, so first video of the year, and I wanted to talk about some music, the albums that I loved the last year. I did this as well. Last year I started with a video like this, so I thought, why not do it this year as well? You know, music, something nice, something that I always like to talk about. So I would like to share the albums that I loved, just like I mentioned, yes, and of course, they are based on my personal taste. We have a bit of a variety, but mostly, you know, the music that I like and I listen to. So if you're not listening to the same music as I do, or any of these genres, you probably won't find this list interesting, but it's okay. We can all share our different opinions. We are all friends here, of course. And one more thing before I begin and start telling you what I loved. I have a cold at the moment, so if I'm a bit tired, if I seem a bit off, or if I have a weird voice, it's because of that. Yes, please excuse my Rudolph nose as well. Anyway, that's all I wanted to say. I see the intro is long again. I cannot make a short video or intro. So let's begin. Some of these albums I have as physical copies, some not. So I will show you what I have. Anyway, first album that I would like to mention is one that I actually listened to quite recently because, you know, too much good music and too little time sometimes, but I really wanted to because it is from a band I really like and enjoy since I was very young, yes, and it is a very well-known band. It is the 69 Eyes and the album West End. And I have to tell you that I really enjoyed this album. It reminded me of, you know, older 69 albums with their sound, you know, their distinct sound, and the combination. That's what, you know, I thought while I listened to it, there is a combination of their sound, you know, the 69 Eyes sound that I knew since back in the day, in combination with a modern twist that they have in the later albums, the band has in the later albums, but I have to tell you that I really enjoyed it. And of course, Jyrki's voice is so unique, and you know, you can tell, and the way he's singing, I like it. It has that bit of a darker vibe that the band has as well. And of course, I love Jussi and his drumming. I love it. And this album had a crazy good guitar solos, and you know that I love those, and not only in this album, but in any band album, yes, a song I love, and I really enjoyed the guitar solos in this one. And some of the songs that I would like to mention that I loved and I kept going back to more are the Two Horns Up, which is my favorite of the album, if I may say, Black Orchid, and Sayena. I hope I'm pronouncing this right. And the last House on the Left, which is a collaboration with another two artists. Favorite each one in their genre, Mr. Wednesday 13 and Danny, Mr. Danny Field, yes, and Calico Cooper. So I really enjoyed this one, and another song that I liked, Death and Desire, because it's a bit of a slower song, more of a slower song, and I love that, you know. And Outsiders, and of course, if you're watching for a long time, you know that I'm looking down because I have my notes with me. Yes, the 69 Eyes and the West End. First album I wanted to mention that I loved and enjoyed during the past year. And the next one, I have a physical copy of it. It's from a band that I have talked to, yes, okay, excuse me. I have talked about in my channel before. It's a bit of, you know, a different type of a band, you will understand, but I have to say that I really enjoyed this album. It's from Steel Panther, Heavy Metal Rules, if you can see, yes, here. Yes, Steel Panther and Heavy Metal Rules, you know, it is the Steel Panther theme going on in this album as well, and I have to say that I really enjoyed it, and it was one of the albums I listened to again and again this year, because from what I hear and from what you know, how I receive it, in this album too, just like in the previous one, they have you know, a bit of a heavier sound. That's you know, how I hear it, in combination again with their a bit of a glam thing going on, you know. And I enjoy that, I really enjoy that faster drumming, because Styx is a great, amazing drummer, and crazy bass lines. I love it. I love Lexi as a bass player. And of course you have Michael Starr with his beautiful voice that has so much range, and he hits so many different notes, and I enjoyed, you know, listening to his voice as always. And last but not least, let's not forget about Satchel, who is a guitar god to me, you know, one of my favorite guitarists, and he delivered again crazy solos, amazing, and guitar riffs and guitar licks as well, and a bit of a heavier sound in this one, and I really enjoyed it. Steel Panther, you know, they have that bit of more you know, light-hearted thing going on. If you're a fan of the band, you know what I'm talking about. The Heavy Metal Rules, definitely one of the albums I enjoyed listening to in 2019. Yes, and of course I had to mention, let's move on to the next album I wanted to mention and talk about a bit, you know, briefly. Comes from another band that I have made a video about here, you know, on my channel in the past, and a band that I really like, I love, and a band that hadn't made new music in a few years. So when they announced that they are coming up with a new album, I was really excited, and I was really looking forward to it, and they did not disappoint, let me tell you this. I'm talking about Black Rain and their album, I hope you can see, yeah, and their album Dying Breed. Nice artwork as well here. Yes, Black Rain, and this album, oh my god, I loved it. Every single song. It has the sound that you expect from Black Rain, that sleaze rock, sleaze metal, touches of glam rock. That's how I receive it, at least that's how I hear it. Yes, and they have it, and you have all the songs in the album, and one is better than the other. You keep listening to it, at least that's what I did. I kept listening to it, I really enjoyed it, and Swan's voice, unique voice, I love it, and you know, of course, Frank's drumming, he's a great drummer, another great drummer, I love that as well, and Matthias bass lines, great bass player, of course, and again, last but not least, Max's amazing guitar work, guitar solos and riffs. I enjoyed them as well, of course, in this album in particular, even more than usual, but he's a great guitarist. Yes, and so many nice songs. Every single song, one by one, better than the other. I loved it. I was really happy and really excited. I wanted to talk about this album, but you know, in depth here on my channel, but what can you do? Too many albums, such great music, and too little time, just like excuse me, I mentioned before. Yes, but this, I loved it. I believe it is by far one of their best albums, you know, the band's best albums. And of course I would like to mention my favorite song, because it's hard to choose, but it's not at the same time for me. They have a ballad, a slower song, All Angels Have Gone, and it is of course my favorite out of the album, but a great album. I kept listening to it and I will keep on listening to it in the years to come. Great work by the guys of Black Rain, and I really enjoyed it. Yes, and then let's move on to two other albums that I would like to mention, and a bit of a different, because as I told you, we'll have a bit of a diversity here. Yes, okay, first album I would like to mention comes from a band that it is a bit, if not way too heavy for my taste, and you know, it's not usually the type of music I would listen to, but of course I cannot overlook the fact that they are a great band, and they have a great instrument playing and a lot of talent and composition, everything, and they delivered an album which I really liked, an album I listened to during this year and I really liked. I am talking about Slipknot and their album We Are Not Your Kind, and I read online reviews, and from what I can tell, it was well received from both critics and fans, and I was really curious, and because Slipknot is one of my sister's favorite bands, she's listening to a bit of heavier bands and music than I do. We talked about it and we listened to the album. She absolutely loved it, of course. Been a long time fan of Slipknot, and I wanted to listen to it as well. I did, and I have to tell you, it is a great album. Again, it is not something that I usually listen to, but I love Corey Taylor as a singer, as a growler and a singer. All in all, with a different sound, but as I have mentioned in one of my previous videos, I prefer him in Stone Sour. Anyway. Slipknot's We Are Not Your Kind. Again, I wanted to give it a listen. I did, and I really enjoyed it. Very talented musicians, of course, great instrument playing and lyrics, Slipknot style. I have to tell you that it reminded me of one of the band's most successful albums, if not their most successful, but I may be wrong. I will have to take that out later. Iowa. And that one came when we were really young again, back in the day, and I remember it was such a big thing, and they were just were becoming more known, and their music was becoming more known, and more people wanted to listen to their music. It was so nice, and it was such a big hit, and I got vibes from Iowa in this album. That's what I think, that's how I received it. I may be wrong again, but because I'm not, a fan of Slipknot for years, yes, but that's how I received it. And all in all, I really enjoyed this album, even, if it was a bit heavy. You understand what I mean. Even if it's a bit different, why not? I always keep an open mind, open heart, and of course I appreciate talent and musicianship, so I will listen to it. And yes, it was nice listening to such a nice album from a band that is out for many years, and a very successful band. Anyway, I wanted to mention this, and the next album I would like to mention comes from an artist whose work I really enjoy, whose voice I absolutely love. She has her unique style. I don't think I have talked about her in my channel before, but I really enjoy her work, and I always listen to her music and her songs. I find them to be so unique, different and beautiful. I'm of course talking about Mrs. Lana Del Rey, and oh my god, Lana, such an artist and a beautiful voice, and I find her to be, so unique, and I believe that so many people agree with me, and I like her work, and she released a new album during the past year, and surprisingly, even though I am mostly listening to my favorite, 80s rock sounding bands, new modern bands, this album was the one I kept going back to again and again. Another one this year ever since its release, you know, a bit after I listened to it, and I loved it, all the songs, and you know, her voice makes me forget you know, about my problems for a while, and you know, her music, and I just travel mentally, you know, I close my eyes, I relax, and enter a different world, if I may say, while listening to her work. And this album was really, really good, and I really enjoyed it, all the songs, and the themes she has going on was very interesting, because you know, she's usually, excuse me, having this theme throughout her albums, and I love listening to her stories, and what she has to say and sing about. And yes, absolutely love this album, and absolutely love Lana Del Rey as an artist. She's unique again for the 50th time, but it is something I always appreciate, and I like listening to artists expressing themselves, and see, you know, how they do it. It's always interesting, and they make songs that will stand the test of time, and make us travel. Just like Lana, or at least to me she has that effect, her and her voice. Yes, but another different album that I wanted to mention, yes, Mrs. Lana Del Rey, and I've reached the last albums I would like to talk to. The albums I couldn't stop listening to last year ever since their release. Albums I absolutely loved. I have talked about them here on my channel, and you have loved the videos. Thank you so much. I love it when I make videos that you enjoy truly. Yes, and of course these are the albums that I listen to the most ever since the release. The two albums I couldn't, you know, one day I would listen to one and the next the other, or both on the same day, because I love them so much. And it will come as no surprise if you have watched my previous videos. I'm of course talking about these two amazing albums, Crash Diet's Rust, Crazy Lix's Forever Wild. The albums of 2019, according to me. Of course, they are totally, you know, based on my taste, and I love it, the musical taste that I love. Both bands, okay, Crash Diet, we cannot, excuse me, we will not stay here for long, because you know how much I love this band if you're watching my channel even from you know, the beginning. Yes, and the boys released an album after so many years. It was the comeback album, and we were all so excited and waiting for it, and the result is absolutely amazing, and they did not disappoint. On the contrary, I loved it. It's a great album, and of course I was so happy, you know, to listen to it when it came out, and it was on repeat again and again and again. And same goes for Crazy Lix's Forever Wild. Again, another band that I love for many years, and they released this one, and I was really looking forward to it. I was excited as well, and I was looking forward to the result, excuse me, and listening to the songs, and everything the guys did, and again, I was not disappointed. On the contrary, I was very enthusiastic about it. I received it so well that I couldn't stop listening to it again and again and again. You know, Crazy Leaks of Forever Wild, Crash Diet's Rust. Throughout the years, both crazy guitar solos, hello, great guitarists on both bands, and nice songs to dance to, songs to cry to, songs that will make you feel nostalgic about certain situations, or you know, people. Amazing albums, both of them top. The albums I listened to the most in the past year, ever since they were released, both of them. I couldn't keep them down, and I will keep on listening to them in the years to come, and I believe that they are from the bands from, they are both of them one of its band's best albums by far. Both of them, and I love them. I could recommend them more, which you already know, of course, if you have watched my previous videos, but if you haven't, you can check them out, feel free, you're welcome to do so, and yeah, I loved them, and check these albums if you like this type of music, you know, 80s sounding music, and sleaze, glam, and you know, all that jazz, you understand, but both albums absolutely loved. And I cannot believe we are done. That concludes this video. You know, this was my list and the albums I loved during the past year, and the albums I kept listening to again and again and again. And my friends, you know what I would like you to do. As always, please leave me a comment, let me know which albums you liked and you enjoyed during 2019. I have listened to some, I will try to listen to more. I always enjoy your recommendations as much as you enjoy mine. I would like to hope, yes, and please leave them a list with your favorite albums of 2019. It is always interesting. I love reading from you. I love hearing your thoughts, and of course it can be from any musical genre. It doesn't have to be something that is in tune, if I may say, with mine. No, it is okay. Any different, any musical style, whatever you enjoy, just let me know, of course. And in case you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. You always help me choose the content of my channel and see which videos you enjoy. And of course, you put a smile on my face every time you do so. Yes, and share it, feel free to share it if you liked it, put it in a playlist, whatever you wish, whatever you enjoy, and what else? Oh yes, of course, in case you wish to subscribe to my channel and support, you can always do so by clicking the little bubble with my face on it here or here, wherever it's popping, or the red button over there. Yes, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it, and hopefully I will see you in the next video. And of course, have a great 2020. Let this year be the best. What can I say? My best wishes to you. Thank you so much, my friends. See you in the next one. Bye.